All right. Beautiful people, happy Thursday. I'm so excited to see everybody in here. I see Brad Berlin is here. Doug Lynch is here. Y'all make sure you open up the chat. And for those of you who's like your first time doing one of these webinars with us, we're big with the chat because we have all these experts in here like Deidre and Doug Jenkins. And I think Erica Watts is with us. I see Mr. Funk is with us. We love picking on him as well. Oh, Michelle Bauman's here. Yay! Every single time I see a kid like ripping around on our neighborhood in an e-bike, I always think about her. So we got Jordan Williams with us, Gabrielle. Hi, Gabrielle. Sherry Martin's with us. Tim Pool. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to have you guys. So make sure you have that chat open and it's working and you can chat to others, but watch the chat while we're talking because there's just a lot of people who are working, but they also have great input and expertise in our sometimes they make our webinars even better than we do. Okay, let me launch the poll. I got a cargo claim poll for you guys just to get a feel for what you guys are seeing out there. So please, when you get a chance, answer this poll. It gives us a feel for kind of what direction you want to go with for today regarding cargo claims, but then also a future. If you want to do like a follow up cargo claim webinar, I have one that's like Cargo Claims 101. And it's not just the basics. We'll dive deep into other stuff too without losing people. Leanne Coulter in the house. I haven't seen Leanne in forever. So the other thing is, I'm early, Megan. Usually I'm late. I'm excited. We haven't had a webinar in a while, so I'm really excited to have this one. Gabrielle says for number 3, we need, and above all, what does it say? I just want to look real quick. What is the most common type of cargo claim you deal with? Yeah, I thought about that. But I also wanted to push you guys, narrow you into picking an answer so that I can get a feel for what are you dealing with. Because if we have like a ton of temperature related people on the webinar, that kind of drives our Jordan Williams in the house. So excited. That kind of drives our discussion in a different direction because, as you guys all know, temperature controlled freight is a whole ball game. And I like that we're not seeing a lot of delay related. So we have a lot of people trickling in. We got a big crowd today, and you guys have launched the poll and open up the chat. Lorraine says number 4, file and document management. Google Docs is not file management. Lorraine, I have seen shippers and brokers who are operating in the 50 million to $75 million range annually, and they are on Google Docs. Sometimes there's not a other resource. So I'm gonna let you guys get settled in really quick. But I hold on 1 minute. This is like, oh, oh, ooh, that's better. Eyes are starting to hurt. It here in Scottsdale, Arizona. Let's see what Chicago's like. 15 degrees in Chicago. You guys have lost your minds. Lost it. Megan, Melanie, it's 60 degrees in Jacksonville, Florida. Ugh, that's too cold for me. Nope. Crossing that one out too. Kansas City is 24 degrees. What's wrong with you guys? It's going to be 2 degrees at nighttime. On Saturday, it's going to get down to -1. That's actually pretty good. Green Bay has been getting hit. Oh my God, poor Green Bay. 13 degrees, going to get down to -4, but I thought it was like worse for Green Bay last week. I was like, oh my God. Let's see how Professor Canistra is doing. 14 degrees. He's going to have a lovely weekend, you guys. 8 degrees on Friday, 12 degrees on the weekend. You guys have lost your minds. Why don't you come to Scottsdale and visit me, where right now it's 70, but you guys, it's only 1 o'clock. It's going to go up to 74, but oh, look at this weekend 77, 80 degrees. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's lovely, y'all. Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, an annoying start for you guys to the beginning of our webinar, but I wanted to make sure that you guys came to visit me. We can take you out to dinner. Mike's here. He's going to be with us from freightclaims.com. He is also here in Arizona. And now I'm looking at the comments. I'm getting hate. 10 degrees in Pittsburgh, Brandon says. 4 degrees in Virginia. Sherry, I did see you were located in Virginia this morning, and I was like, I wonder how their weather has been. Oh, Indianapolis. Justin's with us. -7. Ooh. No, thank you. 42 degrees in Idaho is actually like nice, right? Like, that's not bad. Yeah, Michael, we are here for the 78, 80 degrees. 9 degrees in New York State, aka Canada. Funk is in Cape Coral, Florida. He is at 70 degrees, so he's pretty happy. Um, and oh, I'm just loving all these comments. Lauren's in Bama. She says 42. Not so bad. There's 57 in El Paso, Texas. -19 degrees in Montreal. Y'all are crazy. Tim Pool, I think you're in Canada too. I didn't see you weigh in, but I'm sure you're too cold to even like type to us. So I am distracting you guys a little bit about weather and being annoying just so you can get the polls done. You can come in, you can open up the chat, you can get ready to Dan Gallagher's with us. He just joined. So now let's go back to the business and why y'all are here. And you guys put up with my shenanigans. You're excited to meet Mike. We had a big crowd register for this webinar, and cargo claims is a popular topic, but not as popular as like the registrations were, the amount of registrations. And I was like, wow. And then I looked into the reasons, and a lot of people are really interested in seeing the freightclaims.com product. So I think that it's a product that's hitting a sore point for many of you. So here's what I put together for you guys is give me 1 second to make sure I still have my chat up because Zoom's like garbage. Come on, Zoom. And I have a little outline for you. I see people are still trickling in. You guys open up that chat. Make sure you can see that. And then also please make sure that you answer the poll questions because we're going to go over those in just a minute. Gives us a feel for the industry, the people who are on this webinar and what they're experiencing as well. All right, let me make sure my little chat is up so I can see you guys talking. 8 degrees in Toronto, Tim Pool says. That's like the rest of the country. All right. CarrierShirt and FreightClaims.com has a new partnership. And this is just the beginning of our partnership. We're going to continue to grow it. Megan, Melanie, and I met the Freight Claims team and fell in love with them last year when we did an Arizona conference. And then we just got talking with them, and we're like, you guys are hitting such a great sore point in the industry, which is managing and filing and dealing with cargo claims. How can we partner? And so now we're here and we are taking in data into CarrierShare, which I'll show you in just a minute. And I'll be quick about that because a lot of you have already seen the data. And I really like, once I get over my little part, I'm going to hand it over to Mike to talk about the platform a bit so you can see some insight into it. But then also, he's going to tell us what he's been seeing. And then we're going to talk about some of those claim denials that we're seeing, claim types that we're seeing, things like that. Ooh, Faith, thank you very much. We are recording this and we're going to post it on our YouTube channel for you guys where we post a lot of the webinars. And so webinars are, some of them we have confidential ones, and then some of them we have like public ones. We'll post those ones. Absolutely, you guys. Oh, Justin said that he is a user of freightclaims.com. He's willing to talk and share his experience. He is also a master at freight claims and freight fraud too. He's in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I had to think about that for a minute. I visited him, I think, last year. Great guy. All right. So I want you guys to think about when you think about cargo claims, you're thinking about, all right, should I use this carrier? I'm now seeing cargo claims. Why is that important to me? Like many parts of our carrier vetting, when we're looking at whether we're going to hire a carrier or not, I know that everybody wants to try and make it as black and white as possible, but to my experts in the group, they're going to tell you it is not black and white. And cargo claims is the same thing. So cargo claims is very similar to when you look at accident numbers. I know a lot of you looking at accident numbers, crash indicators and crash this, crash that. And I've always told you guys, don't look at those numbers. I don't like crash numbers. I was a litigator for a long time. I represented trucking companies in crashes. And just because they've had crashes, you cannot tell. I don't care what anybody says. You cannot tell whether that carrier is actually more prone to accidents because they could live in an area where there's a lot of accidents, Chicago, people driving like jerks. They could be in a situation where they were not at fault. Maybe even if they got ticketed or there was a tow, they still might not be at fault. And we have like year-long litigation over who's at fault. So that data is like cargo claim data. When you see the cargo claim data, I want you to take it with a grain of salt. It's an indicator to ask questions. So freight claims. Hopefully, you guys can see my screen. Yeah, I'm sure. Let me know if you can't. But it says carrier sure, blah, 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 right? And let's see. Megan gave me this one. Thank you, Megan. AI trucking lines. Interesting name, but at least it's not, fastest truck ever.com LLC. And then we created this new category where you can see all the freight claims information. I just lied to you because not all the freight claims information. We just asked to start from freightclaims.com. Just give us a number of freight claims in the last 12 months. How many claims they have filed against them? So don't take this as a black and white rule. Don't take it as a DNU because just take it as a conversation point and it's something to be interesting. Because of course we have to think about what kind of claims, like what if this carrier, you guys know what I'm about to say. What if this carrier is running a lot of Nestle freight, a lot of water bottles, or types of shippers who just reject and file like tons of claims? So that's not fair. What if this carrier's got 300 trucks and you see 10 claims? So I don't want you to jump to conclusions. Our platform does take off points if we see compared to your trucks who kind of do have too many claims. But most of the time, we'll have it as a warning here right in the weaknesses. Freight claims reports, 3+ claims. You can see it right there. And I want you to just use it as more of a conversation point about, hey, talk to me about in the last 12 months, you've had these 3 cargo claims or these 2 cargo claims. Because they can BS you. You can tell what if they are full of crap. Over time, we'll have more information as we work more with freightclaims.com and have more information for you guys available that'll be helpful. But for now, this is valuable, good, juicy data to have. I just want to go over to the chat really quick and make sure there aren't any questions before we jump over to the poll, and then we go to Mike. Oh, Debbie, you're in Fort Wayne as well. Debbie, you should also get involved in you probably maybe already are, but there's a cargo theft group in Fort Wayne that's pretty amazing. So Sherry, hopefully, and Adisola, hopefully you guys are going to come to Arizona to visit us. Dina, who has a lot of experience. No silver bullet, but man, I wish I'd sell myself for one. Does this work well with auto haulers? Mike, auto haulers, I was a consultant GC for a big auto holder brokerage. Cool company. It's just a whole different ball game. And we'll have to ask Mike when we talk to him if he has any auto hauler. I think Mike's going to tell you not really, but we'll find out. And then Robert will ask him also domestic and international. Very good question. So I can't remember if CarrierShare is pulling it in. I think, and if you have a DOT number, we assign you. We show you whether they have cargo claims or not. And then the other thing is, brokers. So brokers are scored on our platform. We will also show shippers because we got a lot of shippers on this platform and in our webinar right now. And we will show if brokers have cargo claims as well. But please remember, shippers, it's kind of the nature of the beast for brokers. It's not really a telling. It's a conversation point, but it's not really going to tell you anything. So we don't really hurt broker score or anything like that. Let's go back over to our agenda. All right, let me pull up the poll just so you guys have a feel for who is here. And also what are they seeing in the industry when it comes to this topic? So a lot of you are brokers. We do have some carriers, shippers. We have a bunch of risk management people and some others. I don't know who the others would be. So if you want to tell us in the comments who the others are, let us know. In the past 12 months, how often has your organization filed a cargo claim? And the answer, wow, a lot of you guys, 5+ claims is the majority of the group. What is the most common type of cargo claim you deal with? I kind of wanted to pigeon you guys in. Most of you guys said cargo damage. Not as many. I thought cargo theft was going to be like super high for you. but his cargo damage is very high. The rest of them are pretty even. What are some of the hardest points of managing cargo claims today? I let this be a kind of like you can pick some of them. I was thought about pitching you guys and didn't answer, but decided to be nice. Most of you said, and I know this because I've run big cargo claims groups at many different companies. I had the same problem getting timely responses from carriers or insurers or adjusters. Yep, that was a really big one. Closing to second place is dealing with insurer denials. Oh, I bet they're going bananas on denials lately. We are, how often would you describe the outcome of your cargo claims? Many of you do have paid in full. So congratulations to you guys because that's really hard. Close second is partially paid. And then many still open or unresolved for long periods of time. That's painful. Incredibly painful. So do cargo claim history or patterns influence your carrier selection decisions? And many people said heavily, yes. And then a close second was somewhat. And then I asked you guys a couple long answered questions just for future webinars and for things like that. And I'll look at that in just a little bit. So thanks for those of you who did the poll. Continue to answer those questions because we'll follow up with some of those data points and kind of tailor our conversations to those as well. Let me pop back over to my agenda because I think what I need to do now is, bring on our buddy Mike, who's also in Arizona and is loving the beautiful weekend we're going to have in 80 degrees. Man, you guys, a lot of you have direct flights to Arizona too, So let's look up Michael. Michael, I'm going to move you into being a panelist. It'll bring you up. Hopefully it works, but Zoom is a little crazy and a pain in my butt, as usual. And then while you are getting things adjusted and I'm waiting for you to come up, I got two Michaels in here. I'll promote you both. You both can be panelists if you want. I'm going to check out some of the comments in the chat. And Tom says, dealing with adjusters now, it's a pain. You learned phone tag as well. Yep, absolutely. Bill says, stolen, claim denials, unresolved. And Sherry said what I thought a lot of people would say, which is exclusions. I think we're going to see a lot more exclusions in 2026. And I think a lot of the claims we're not seeing from stolen goods might be because there's no insurance and you already know it because it's the type where you don't know actually who you hired. Michael, you are actually on mute, just so you know, but we are excited
Can you hear
to
me
see
now?
you. Yes, the camera looks good. I like the
Thank you.
swag. Megan, we gotta have
Thank
like some good carrier sure hats that don't have curse words on them.
I got a
We
guy
gotta
for
work
that
on
if you
that.
need somebody.
Okay, good. Michael, I'm so excited. Please introduce yourself to the group. We're excited to have you. And make sure to tell everybody about your wife too, because she's
Oh, yeah.
got a
Thank
cool
you for
history.
that. And thank you very much for all your support and for bringing me on today. So, and I appreciate you and your entire team. So thank you so much.
We're
My
excited.
name is Mike Schember, the founder and CEO of FreightClaims.com. I've been in logistics and trucking since I was 19 years old. I started at a company called Overnight Transportation back in the day. My father was a truck driver, begged the terminal manager to help his young son figure out what he was going to do with his life. So I got an opportunity as a dock worker. Worked there for several years. That's where I got it. I dipped my toe in the water with OS&D and distress freight at the local terminal level here in Phoenix. I've been in Phoenix my entire life. Ran over to a company called WestEx back in the day. Yellow was buying up a bunch of non-union regional carriers. That's where I became a supervisor of freight claims. So I was the youngest claims guy in my early 20s, learning freight claims as I went. Got trained by some really good people at Yellow by the name of Kent Wade and Dan Gertzema, some old time claim guys from the back in the Yellow days. WestEx eventually turned into Saia, and then I went over a company called USF Bestway, where I was director of freight claims there. So Yellow came in to buy the USF group. I did not want to work for Yellow Freight again, so I exited the industry and I started a brokerage that I ran for almost 20 years.
Oh
So
my goodness, I didn't know that.
yeah, so I bought the URL freightclaims.com 10 years ago with the vision of bringing this to life. And what I always like to say is the claims department is the last department to get any resources, regardless of who you work for, whether it's a carrier or shipper or broker. So we really want to fill that gap. So thank you for having me again.
And you got some really good experience. So tell us how Brad Berlin came into the picture, because I've known him for a million years, back from
Yeah,
my global
Brad is
trades
on
days,
the
I
on
think.
the call too. Brad's been with us almost 4 years now. So Brad brought a lot of expertise from the SaaS background. He started it. He was one of the original 5 or 6 at Global Trans. I took him from Project 44, and he has a lot of experience with development. Got to get under the hood with his consulting term time with looking at different operating TMSs and softwares, and specifically with carriers and brokers. So really is valuable to have them on our team. You're muted now.
Thank you. So what I would love is if you could walk us through your platform. I have you for walk us through your platform. We are excited to hear about the observed trends because I can't imagine what you're seeing. And common types of claim categories, your workflows, and then like what are you seeing out there and things like that.
Yeah. So I've got a question for you at the jump. So we've been seeing a lot of theft, and 4 of them over the last 2 months were theft where the carrier's email was hijacked. And the
Hmm.
carrier declines the claim because they've never take possession of the freight and their insurance will not cover it. And from my perspective, we'll file it anyway, but that would fall under like a cyber policy, which most probably don't have. So what would your suggestion be for that?
That is probably it's probably the best question of the webinar because everybody's dealing with it. Debbie even just messaged that she's dealing with the same exact thing. So the carrier claims that they email got hijacked and you didn't hire the carrier, you hired someone else. I think that I'm like you. I would still file with the insurer and push and push and push and be like, it's not my problem. And I would also investigate whether if it's possible whether you actually believe the carrier's email has been hijacked. Because I hear a lot of that now, you see my face. I'm like, really, was it hijacked, or are you sloppy with your business practices and nothing really happened? It's just a fired employee. All sorts of things. I do not think you're going to get insurance coverage, but I do think there's an opportunity if they have assets that if it's worth it. And Dina, you said this earlier. Remember that even though they don't have insurance company coverage and the coverage says no, that doesn't mean you can't sue the carrier because the carrier's still on the hook. It's not our fault that the carrier's email got hacked. So I think that was
Yeah,
a really, really good question. And you hit it right on the head when you're like, carriers aren't going to have the insurance policies to cover this. And even if they did have a cyber policy, many of them are not going to cover cargo claims, like cargo damage or cargo loss.
mm,
So like there's a lot of like you have to be careful if there's any extra policies that they do cover cargo loss.
yeah, and I think it's really important to, for a broker to educate their customer. I mean, that type of claims when you're involved in a lawsuit with the carrier is just going to extend that payment out for months and months and months and months and maybe even years.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's a
wild.
practice patience with that stuff for sure.
I want to see what some of the people from the chats have said is it's a damn good question. Heather King says, at least for me, because I'm currently fighting it, but it's a long one. Should I just email you, Cassandra, or type it out here? Heather, you can email me at cassandra@carriersure.com. Mike, does say certain insurance companies offer this? Mike, please give us more data. Give us like what insurance companies or how we can kind of figure that out because this is a big deal. Becca says insurance has denied the claim for this and carrier denies all liability. Well, what's the next option? Yeah. Becca, your next option is to get an attorney and see what they can do for you or file in small claims court, depending on the amount too. And you can just say, hey, they breached their contract. I'm sure there's something in your contract that we can find that has been breached. And maybe if not, we should start adding that to our carrier contract language is that you have to have reasonable security procedures and protect your email, et cetera, et cetera. Because these emails, oh, we got Brian Nelson with us. Oh, that's good. Brian Nelson's actually the attorney I would tell you guys to go to in Florida, in St. Pete. They're having beautiful weather. I've told this to Cassandra before, but it starts with the contract with your customer. Make sure your customer contractually or the carrier. Make sure you're a customer contractually responsible for verifying the carrier's identity with when they arrive. So maybe Brian will give us some details on what we could add to our carrier contracts as well. But at the same time, for me, I like to litigate and I like to push things if I know they have assets. So you just opened up a good conversation, Mike.
Yeah, for sure. What some feedback that I got too is it's a good idea to add to your BCA that the carrier gives you the right to a copy of the policy. So they're granting the insurance permission to share their policy with the broker. I've seen some brokers add that to their BCA. So then that
I
way,
wonder if that works. I've used that too, and the insurer still told me to go jump off a bridge. But I think it's important to have that language anyhow. Because I don't know, we always Brian Nelson. He's right on the cusp of all of this stuff. But in my opinion, I'm like, carrier, you were negligent somehow,
yeah.
and your email got accessed, and as a result, my cargo got damaged and claimed. Now, of course, we've got some Carmack issues coming in there, but we'll let them argue that. Good question. Oof. Let me just say, let me just make sure that nobody else has some great tips for things that they're saying. Um, and insurance instantly denied the claim on the basis of the BLO was supposed to be signed without notation of damage. But okay, so we'll go back to that in a little bit. All right, Mike, we're excited to see your product.
All right, let me get it set up here.
Zoom's always funky, so you guys go ahead
Yeah,
and
let
put
me
any of your questions in chat and take a few minutes or a few seconds because
move my
Zoom,
Zoom
yeah,
over to the other
I
side.
don't understand this platform. I got to find a better one day.
All right, can you see this okay?
Yeah, perfectly.
All right, I want to move some of this stuff to my other
Can
screen.
everybody else see his freightclaims.com portal?
Yes, yes.
Looking good.
All right, awesome. So thank you so much again. So this is freightclaims.com, and I'm just going to go over this very quickly. And obviously, if you're interested, go on freightclaims.com and request a demo, and we could set time up to take a deeper dive. And Justin, thanks for the shout out there. I appreciate that. But as soon as you log in, it immediately takes you to your filed claim log, and you can see the last status that you left that claim in. So there's a couple of different ways to get a claim into the system, but the one that I like the most and the one that we push the most is we can develop an online claim form that's branded to your look and feel that can either be a shareable link or embedded on your website. The cool thing with this is we can make anything required or optional and make any what we refer to as our document cards or document categories for whatever documentation that you want to gather on behalf of claims that you manage. So these four are pretty hard coded in, but we can gather reefer logs, anything else that you want to gather as far as documentation is concerned, we can build on that online claim form. And this obviously is self-explanatory. Anything with an asterisk is required, so we can make anything required or optional. You have the ability to add multiple commodity line items, give us a salvage allowance, add additional charges. Again, all optional here. You have the ability to add custom claim types and claim conditions. And most importantly, and the thing that I like to highlight the most, is we can add terms and conditions as it pertains to you as your brokerage or a carrier's rules tariff that really stipulates as a broker, the goods are never in our care, custody, and control. We're not ultimately liable. You know, our managing of your freight claim is an extension of customer service, but we're not ultimately liable. So this could give you some legal protection should you need to use it.
I like that.
This specific example, this broker was like, hey, we're not going to file claims less than $300. It was their experience that it was those customers that pay you in 6 months that want to file $10 and $15 claims all day. So they drew a line in the sand. So they're welcome to go directly to the carrier as this indicates. But this will not let a customer advance the claim until those required fields are filled out and they accept the terms and conditions and submit it. So the cool thing, that's just one way of getting a claim into the system. I'll show the manual way on a full-on demo, but the cool thing about that is you get alerted that a claim came into the system, and you can see right away whether they sent in all those documents or completed that claim form. So now that I have this coming in, I get alerted through a series of in-app alerts up here, or you can customize the alerts that you want to receive an in-app alert for versus an email for. So we can set it up, we have it set up where we'll email you whenever a new claim comes in, whenever a claim is assigned to you, or a task or a comment is directed toward you, or you're tagged in a comment. We have a lot of flexibility here. We want to respect your inbox. So we want to just give you the options for you to choose what you want to receive emails for. So getting back to this real quick, when I click into this, this is an example of us filing against multiple parties. So our goal in freightclaims.com is to give you the ability to bring a claim down to zero through a series of transactions. But what this does here is you can enter one claim, but file against multiple parties at one time, and then manage each party independently of each other. So pretty cool technology here.
Yeah, I like that. I like that also because people always asking me, "Oh, should I file with the carrier and then they work with their insurance?" And I'm like, "No, no. File against everybody." And this is
Yeah,
nice. Your platform has allowed that.
yeah, something we thought of early on. So this is the transactions tab here. So in this example, I'm showing that I paid more outbound funds than I've received in on behalf of this claim. But we can start logging transactions as we get them. So we have these options here. We're adding one more called deduction, where you might want to deduct the amount of payable that you pay the carrier. I know that's a gray area for some, but that was a user
Mm.
ask. So we're adding that in the next sprint. But in this example, I could say, hey, I received an inbound payment of $500 from the carrier. And once I confirm that, we're showing you the funds you have available to pay. In this example, we paid more out in this claim than we've received, but we itemize all those transactions for you. So another cool thing with this is you have the ability to do outbound payments too. So this was actually a user that's on this call request. Say I had to pay a tow fee for this and it's $500. So we give you the ability to customize all those different payment sources in the setting. But we want you to be as generic as possible in those settings. So we recognize that it's highly unlikely that you're going to use the same tow company in Scottsdale, Arizona as you are in Orlando, Florida. So you want to be generic in the type of fees that you're paying out, but we give you the ability to add the vendor information at the claim level. And all of this rolls up into reporting for you. So once I hit confirm on that, I'm now upside down $5,000 because I paid that additional outbound fee. So I hope that makes sense to you.
Yeah, definitely. That was a great idea.
Yeah, so the cool thing with this is you have a series of tabs here. So you have all the claim form data. This is how the information came in through that online claim form or manually. You could see all the documents that you have on behalf of this claim, and you can carousel through these documents very quickly. I'm in a demo site here, so I'm not entirely sure what will pop up. Um, but the cool thing too is if you say that's not the freight bill invoice, that's the bill of lading, you can move these things around and give them a name. You have the ability to set up tasks and you can assign tasks to other users in your organization. So this has been really helpful. And this task icon here separates all those tasks for you. So most of our users start their day here. They can click through what tasks do I have outstanding? What do I need to get to work on? And they can either perform that task, edit that task, or reassign that task. So another one that I did, I'm going to go into this filed claim because I have it on the top of my box, I think. Let me find my Austin one. All right. So what we've done in freightclaims.com is every claim gets its own unique email address. So we knew when we were developing this that we're competing against Excel, we're
Hmm.
competing against Outlook or an email program and maybe an online document storage. So with freightclaims.com, you never have to leave our system to manage your claim. So how the email works is we have a series of templates that are all customizable, but I literally can click on the template and it will pre-fill out all the information on that claim for me automatically. So if there's a carrier declination or you send specific emails to overcome carrier declinations, you literally have the ability to create a template and it will fill out all that information for you automatically. You know exactly how to respond and what to respond with. We also built in AI to help you write those emails as well. So you can give it a command and say, hey, clean this up and add this sentence, and the AI will write that email for you. So pretty cool stuff. When you click into the to field, it's going to give you anybody that's a contact or that's associated with this claim and has a contact to choose from, or you can type in any email address that you want. But the cool thing with our system too is we can ingest documents into the email. So I can click on the document and say, okay, that's the bill of lading. And then I can come over here and say, add this to the bill of lading. And now it's automatically upload into that document category for me.
Goodness, this is beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. We also have an automations tool. So it's easier to show this in a video. I haven't activated it in the demo site, but I'll show that video at the end of this. This
Okay.
was another user ask. They wanted the ability to create an audit trail to make sure that their claim examiners are validating things before the claim can be closed out. So
Yep.
we give you up to 10 different options or Q&As that you can ask for validation that they performed all their duties before they can actually submit that payment out or close that claim out. So that's been a big appeal to our users. Another thing that we added recently is what we call claim collaboration. So this acts not only as diary notes, but I can tag other users in my system and have a conversation underneath the claim. So Cassandra, if maybe you're representing a broker and they need your guidance on a freight claim, they literally can tag you. You'll get an email. You can go in there and have that conversation with them right
You're
underneath that
so
claim
good.
file. Yeah,
Oh,
pretty cool stuff, huh? So this activity log here keeps track of every action taken on the claim. This isn't editable in any way. I can say, I just want to know every time documents were attached and who attached
yep.
them, whenever emails were sent out, and we show you those emails, whenever an automated workflow was activated, all of that stuff is available to you. This up here acts as comments too. So we wanted to give you the ability to add a comment and have a communication anywhere you're at in these tabs. We just added it here too to give you some more real estate to make it look a little cleaner. Because when you click on it here, it just, it's just not quite as large. This AI entry tool is relatively new technology for us. So what we've done here is you have the ability to upload your shipping documents, and we look for three specific documents. We look for the bill of lading, the delivery receipt, and the product invoice. And when I go in and review this, we're scraping the information off of the document and then telling you where there's conflicts. So in this example, we found multiple pro numbers across the documents that were submitted for this claim. So this is just a validation tool to ensure you have the right documentation for the claims that you're administering. So I can look at the invoice. You can see where we scrape that data from. We're also using this as machine learning. So if we see that the user went in and changed this information on this bill of lading reference number, the machine will learn to where to scrape that information from the next time it sees a similar document. So some pretty cool tech here. But the coolest thing with this is I can hit create claim. It will load the claim into the system based upon the data that it pulled out. It'll separate all those document categories for you and add the claim parties and add the shipment details, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really, really cool tech. Another thing that this thing does is if you get a document and you don't know what claim it applies to, you can upload it into our AI entry tool and we'll tell you what claim it applies to. So we found these claims that could possibly match this documentation and give you some guidance to really drill down to where that document applies. All right. So this Insights tab here, this is super valuable information. We did also launch Power BI, that's in our production tool, but this gives you some quick insights on where you are with your claim. So who do I have outstanding claim dollar amount? So this is claim amount versus number of claims filed. And when you really drill down, you can see what type of collection percentage you're getting on behalf of those claims that you're administering or working, really what customers are bringing you the most problems down to origin and destination. So here I could say, hey, this Denver warehouse, I've got a real problem there. What the heck's going on? So you can take some corrective action to try to prevent those claims. So really, really cool insights that help you make better business decisions. Over here is with capacity providers. So I'm going to expand this data out a little bit, but I can see what carriers I have the most outstanding claims with, down to the lane data on where those claims are happening as well. So some
Oh,
really good
wow.
insights. Yeah, really, really good insights. This is stuff that we might be able to share in, our future
Yeah,
endeavors
that'd
there
be
too,
very helpful.
Cassandra.
Do you have can I look at the number of shippers I have claims with? Like if I'm like Oh my
Yeah.
God, this customer, I think, has filed like a million claims this year.
Yeah. So right here, top outstanding and then number of claims here.
Filed. Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Because some people miss it. Some people
Yeah.
miss it
And
in
when you
their
highlight
business.
over, it'll break down that information for you too.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Pretty cool, huh?
This is different. This is much different. Like, I mean, it's still the same, but like you've advanced it a lot since the last time we even did one of these
Yeah,
demos.
we've got more stuff coming. Some of it's a little bit too premature to announce on this call, but stay tuned. There's a lot more stuff coming that will definitely help you move these claims along. So, some of the feedback that we've gotten is shortening the time of recovery. I mean, one customer I talked to a couple weeks ago said literally claims were taking him up to 200 days, and he's got it
Mm-hmm.
down to 60 days, some even
Nuh-uh.
22 days with our
Lies. No
software.
way. That's
Yeah, yeah.
amazing.
And
But
another,
they feel more organized. They can like automate things and get on
absolutely
things.
true. Yeah. I mean,
Stuff
I
isn't.
know I sound like a sales guy here, but I built this with purpose. And as I said,
Yeah.
freight claims is the department that everybody loves to hate. And I know a lot of these brokers have sales reps that get all upset when a claim's not paid very quickly. But you can over communicate with that. So we even have scheduled reporting. So you can turn on scheduled reporting and you can create reports for just about anything that you want. So if you want a customer report, say in this example, ABC Logistics, I want to send them a detailed report every 30 days. We give them an Excel download that the email will go out at whatever cadence that you specify. So we have that with carriers as well. So
That's
if I come in
beautiful.
here and choose a carrier, I would find the carrier as start typing it or choose it in a drop down. Now I will say when I worked on the carrier side, I'm not implicating any carrier at all. But we literally had drawers full of claims that we knew that we owed. But if nobody ever followed up on them, they aged out and went
Hey,
away.
you got to follow up.
So on the flip side of that, if we experienced claimants that had some knowledge in freight claims, we paid a little closer attention to those clients. So we made sure we handled those correctly. So you do have a lot of control in freightclaims.com. So when I come down here, this is where you can create your own document categories and list them as required or recommended versus optional. So if I do not have a bill of lading, that bill of lading document card will show that I'm missing that document. Multiple claim types that you can handle in here. So we do have some customers that use us to manage their OS&Ds. And then once they go in there and it becomes a claim, you just change that claim type to the type of claim that you're filing, and all the documentation and stuff is already there, and you immediately file it. Somebody said car haulers. We have a few car
Mhm.
haulers that are using our system to manage their claims. So we added up to three custom
Car
references.
hauler claims is so laborious.
Yes, yes. And they wanted a section for make, model, and VIN. So we
Yep.
added this up to three custom reference fields that you can add. Different claim modes that you can add on here, as many as you want. When I come up here, so this is really important. What we've done is we've hard coded different statuses that a claim goes through its life cycle, but you can have as many sub statuses as you want. So this example here is the one that probably resonates the most. If I indicate a claim was short paid, I want to know why it was short paid and what
Hmm.
collection percentage I'm getting. All of this rolls up into reporting to you.
That's
So
beautiful.
very,
Who's
very cool
your
stuff.
who's your target customer? Like the best customer, like business wise? Are they all brokers,
No,
or you
no, no,
have
no.
shippers?
I mean,
Mhm.
it's across the board. We have carriers, we have brokers, and we have a lot of shippers on our platform, and some household names. I'm under some NDAs, so I can't overshare, but
Mhm.
definitely, probably some products you have in your pantry are customers of ours now. So
Um, and then like what do you tell brokers when they get to a certain size, like volume, they should start considering?
I would say five or more claims a month makes sense.
Yeah.
I think the data in and of itself would pays for the software, not to mention the ease of use of the software and the speed to recovery.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, the one thing, I might have said it already, but freight claims is an extension of customer service, and that really will make or break a customer for a broker. When there's an issue, how do you react to it? And do you react to it professionally, or do you say, hey, you're on your
Agreed.
own?
Yep, agreed. So
So,
shippers look at this as like a customer service aspect, and you've I have a couple questions coming in for you. First of all, will you guys be at TIA in
We
March in
will.
Arizona?
Yeah.
I hope so. It's right in your backyard.
Yep. We'll be there. We have a
Um,
booth.
you got awesome. We got some of your customers already voicing how much they love your product in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
Um, Robert Palmer, who's been with us forever, has been one of our buddies forever. He said, "Are you able to coordinate claims with like our global insurance provider, like FM Global, for example?" Which
Yeah,
I think is like a
absolutely.
yeah, it would be
Yeah.
a popular thing. Like I'm surprised Reliance doesn't use this
Um,
platform and
yeah, we've
custom
had some discussions.
insurance
We'll see
brokers
how
like
that
that.
goes. So yeah, you can administer claims to insurance as well. So you can add the insurance party on here and then communicate. So we are talking to a couple of other providers to allow us to API claims to them.
Hmm. Hmm.
We've approached several of the LTL carriers. We have one active right now. But in full transparency, when we approach these LTL carriers, you might be shocked to hear they say, we don't want to make it easy to file freight claims. So they don't, yeah. So a freight claim API doesn't exist. So what we've done with that is I've worked with Lance Healy on the NMFTA Digital Council, and we've scoped out what a freight claim API will look like. It's in the hands of the NMFTA to create what's referred to as a
Great
JSON.
idea.
Yeah, so with that, then we can present it to the LTL carriers and try to push that claim API. So, working with some of this, it could be like an act of Congress. And I'm not sure how long it'll take, but it's something that we're working towards for sure for a claim submission API. So,
Great question from John. Again, which is I had the same question because I've run large teams, and I how can I like is there a process? How do you do with team management on their claims and like
it's a great question. So we have the ability to do claim assignment. So in the settings down here, we can create roles and permissions depending on what you want that user to do or not do. And then you just simply invite that user in by adding a new user with that predetermined role. We also have claim assignment. So we talked about the claim collaboration, but if I'm like, hey, I want to send this over to Barb now to take a look, I can hit confirm. Barb will get alerted that a new claim
go
was
get a
assigned to
Barb?
her, and it will sit in her My Claim field to indicate these are the ones that I'm responsible for that are assigned to me.
Okay.
Yep.
And can you look at her performance, like her days to close, like how many she's taken for the
That is
month, things like
something we're
that?
working towards with Power
Okay,
BI.
cool.
We don't have that built in yet, but that's on the backlog for sure.
Very cool.
Productivity tools are crucial.
Jordan Williams, one of my favorite people, says, "What is the cost?" I was curious too.
Yeah, it depends on the range of claims. We bill in three different tiers. I think 1 to 20 is 399. We can send that out to you if you just ping us. We can send you out our standard price sheet. Might be available on our website. I'm not certain of that, but we definitely can send that out to you. We're flexible and easy to do business with. Like I said, I'm trying to provide a service to the industry for a portion of the business that has been not loved upon, I'll say, over the last few decades. So,
Well, we haven't had this resource. So my entire career, I've dealt with cargo claims, and we didn't have really anything. We had nothing this good ever. Um, obviously, before I left, and started Carrier Sure. So it's like if I had something like this, maybe things would have been a lot easier. But everything was designed for trucking companies to manage their claims, nothing for
yeah,
like logistics or
yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
in this context.
Just a couple quick highlights here. So this is where you can create those email templates. So when I click into it, we have all these different data codes that will pre-fill out for you in the body or in the subject line of the email. So in this example, it's going to add the origin, the destination. All those templates are available to you under every single claim. We can help you
Hmm.
build this. But in this example, it's going to add the customer name, the claim amount. So everything literally just becomes click and send. You can have the AI write it for you and use those data points to fill out what the AI is requiring you to input. So some really cool stuff. It's hidden behind my thing here, but we also have built in an internal chat. So this is how you can reach our team immediately if you get stuck in the software, if you have a claim question, if you need a letter for something. We have tons and tons of letters. And this isn't AI. These are live people that actually work this chat
Oh,
through normal
wow.
business hours. And this is where we add our help videos too. So how do I create a claim? All that information is in here for you, narrated by Becca, who does a really great job. So some really, really cool stuff. One last thing I wanted to show. This is something that we announced at TIA last year. We just built in an automated workflow. So what this does is you trigger an automated workflow underneath the claim. So in this example, I'm saying, hey, I'm filing this claim with Estes. If I do not get a response, automatically send him this email in 30 days.
Yep.
So you can have a cadence of up to 10 different automated workflows. But one of those workflows might say, hey, if they don't respond after email two, create a task for me to remind me to call them. So we're automating that whole workflow out for you so you don't have to continuously ask. Another example I give is if the customer, you need documentation, maybe you're missing that invoice. Maybe you give them two chances with that automated workflow. And then the third one, you say, hey, we're declining your claim for lack of documentation. So we've automated that whole thing
That's
out.
beautiful.
The cool thing too is we're going to see, because we do, every claim gets its own email address. If the recipient responds and you still have three other automations that weren't triggered, we're going to turn off those other three. We want validity of the emails that are coming out of our system. So we don't want to continue to ask for information that we already received. So those additional automated workflows will terminate if that email is responded to. And you have the ability to turn on an automated workflow under any email that you want that you send out.
I
So
love that.
yeah, pretty cool stuff. A lot more to it. I just wanted to give a quick overview, but hopefully you like what you saw.
Yeah, it's a beautiful platform. We're really excited. I know that some people have, like, Robert, I see your question, and I remember I emailed you about this as well. I should have responded. I'm so sorry. I read through it twice too. But I'm sure, Mike, will you put your contact information in the chat as well?
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
and so that people can reach out to you with their specific questions, because I think there's a lot more questions um, coming through. But I like, so glad you're doing this great thing for our industry. And so what have you been seeing for patterns? Is it the same thing as we saw last year? Just a lot of theft, a lot of blah blah
I
blah.
mean, more theft than ever before. And, Justin and I just coordinated on a theft, and he was gracious enough to share a detective in Southern California for me. Um, I don't like to name drop, but I see a consistent pattern with drivers with the name of Singh. It's just
Yeah.
a constant battle, and the strategy seems to be they'll pick up two or three loads for you with no problems at a great rate to earn your trust, and then they'll steal your next two.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely insane. And they literally ghost you. And you have a picture of their driver's license and you have all and them on camera. And I remember from your conference last year, what the California Highway Patrol said, because LAPD can't be bothered with this stuff.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
yeah.
They are not interested.
And the thing is, I know there's, different ways to vet carriers out there, but nothing is 100% foolproof. And these guys just find ways to skirt the stuff, the tools that are out there to, try to stop it. So I
Mhm.
really like your platform that it's more of a collaboration to be like, hey, this has been our experience with this. So
Yeah. And Justin was telling me that even in Fort Wayne, he's got a big group of it was like amazing, because I reached out to him for help with the cargo theft in Fort Wayne, and he had immediately the police officers. But he also said that there's been, like, he knew what county and what location all the theft is happening, and it's amazing the pockets that exist in our country. But John, you just hit it right on the head, which is always assess the commodity desire, the commodities and the lanes, um, and the carriers we're selecting to put on them. Uh, it's so difficult, but it also, you know, it's fresh produce and metal. Yep, John. And vapes. Ooh, Debbie. That sounds like a one that would be easily um uh stolen. So let me go back over. I just wanted to make sure, Mike, thank you very, very much. I'm going to
you're
pop you
welcome. Thank
back
you.
into the crowd. However, I do change role to attendee. It's always amazing to have him with us. He's so knowledgeable. He works so hard, but, like, he just cares about our industry. and um and it's I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to, those tech companies where they're built by people who don't have any industry experience, and you see them, the brokerages that are built by that, and you're like, you see the difference. But Mike has that industry experience, and it's lovely. So Mike walked us through some of these things, the trends that we're seeing on our end at CarrierShare um, from a cargo claims perspective, because you can report cargo claims on CarrierShare for freight. And carriers hate it. And if you don't want your name on it, you can always email us at tech@carriersure.com and we'll take care of it for you. And we'll be the one that kind of gets the fire uh, sent our direction for reports. I don't care. I think we need to know about this stuff. But anyhow, denial rates, yes, we of course we figured this upcoming year they're expected to increase, especially now that we have a lot of changes from the carrier side. We have trucking companies shutting down because they don't have enough of the CDL qualified drivers that they should have had in the past, and now they are having issues with it. So I think also we're going to see a lot of tighter industry insurance underwriting. So I think we need to be ready for that. For the weird, like, have you guys started to see more weird exceptions? I should probably pause and make sure in the chat. Any exceptions that are like, you're like, what is this? Like driver involved theft or carrier involved theft exception? That one I've seen quite a bit. I'm going to put that in the chat to get you guys going. Heidi says there's lots of exclusions. And that's what I've seen too, especially from those like scheduled VIN policies and some of like the cheaper policies, because it's more expensive now to get these policies. So watch out for scheduled VIN policies. We can talk about that at another webinar. We've done that quite often. Some carriers don't even realize what they're missing. Some carriers don't understand that they think that they can't just give a shipment to another VIN number, another truck, a sister company. So we're going to see more aggressive insurer scrutiny. I think we do. Bryce says that we have a claim denial policy included dairy, but cheese was on the exclusion list. What? Cheese? So stuff like that, man. Food. I've always told people food, you have to be so careful. You have to, the part of being a great food broker, freight broker is you have to call the insurance company and you have to be so careful on coverage. You cannot just throw it to the wind with those darn shipments. Oh my God. So we have Tom who said we had another company that is a trailer dealership. We decided not to move off lot, like pick up or deliver to the customer any loaded trailers, cut down on our risk of theft or damage. That's a great idea if you can do it. Does this information integrate the MCP or highway along with a TMS system, John? I think, I cannot remember what he said. Oh, I didn't ask him. I'm so sorry, John. Make sure, Mike, if you could leave us something in a little chat about who you're integrated with. And maybe like the TMS systems, that'd be very cool, but I'm pretty sure he's integrated with some. John says, no ice cream, no seafood. He's right. Weird ones like nuts, electronics, cigarettes. I'm sure the vapes have exclusions as well. Justin does a sun up to sundown for Circle. I'm seeing more exclusions getting added every year. I've seen at least one last week that had driver's driving record prevented a claim for being processed. I have never heard that. Driver's driving record prevented a claim from being processed. What, did you just make stuff up? That just sounds to me like you just made stuff up. Sherry's thinking the same thing I do. Michael says we do have some integration. Reach out for more details. Banyan, 3PL, TIA is more on the way. Sounds like he's like just changing. The platform is just changing and updating and growing, which is really cool to see. Of course, we know the top reasons for cargo claims to get denied. And if you guys want, let us know. You can email us. You've got Megan, you've got Melanie, you've got tech@carriershare.com or Cassandra@carriershare.com. But we can go through cargo claims and do a whole session on that if you want, for you and your team, like a webinar, and talk about all the ways that we try to cut down on denials and get ahead of things and try to push claims along. I do believe that Mike his statement is probably accurate, that his customers go from a 200-day claim average to resolve a claim for 200 days, which, I mean, that's normal. 180 days, I would say that's average. Be lucky. All the way down to 60. I would say that's probably true with the automations and keeping up on claims. So you guys remember that when you see the claims in carrier, sure, that information is not just black and white. Don't deny carrier because you see it as a cargo claim. It just allows you to ask questions because you don't know what kind of freight they're running. You don't know the lanes, and you don't know if like, hey, you guys know that there are shippers out there. And I mean, this happens in every group, but there are shippers out there that would just reject freight. And you have no idea why, and you're so confused, and they keep doing it. And it's frustrating, and that can happen to a carrier as well. So let me just check for any last minute questions in our chat. Claudia, we were so happy to have you with us. Sophia says, any tips when we get a claim denial because the carrier driver gives a statement of not rushing or not having hard breaks events or blames the shipper for bad unloading the products? I've had this too. This one's a tough one. So what Sophia's saying is that she's filed a claim for damaged goods because let's say it's a hard break. And Brian jumps right in. Brian, you're awesome. And Justin's probably going to jump right in on this one as well, because this is like the bane of our existence, right? And so the driver gives a statement saying, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't have a hard break, and the shipper just didn't load the product correctly. Let's just see what, before I say and go on my event, let's see what Brian Nelson said, one of our favorite trucking attorneys in St. Pete. His contact information is up above in the chat. He said, please note hard braking does not confirm negligence on the part of the carrier. Course have said that it was sometimes it would be negligent not to hard brake if they were to cause an accident if they did not. That is very interesting. So here's what we're going to tell you guys. Because I've managed big claims departments, and we're going to ignore what Brian said. Brian's right. It's the law. He's going to say that if he represents a carrier or whatnot. But what I want Sophia to do is to pretend she doesn't know that, because we let these adjusters come back to us with Brian's argument. And many of them would not think of that unless they were associated with Brian. So for hard break claims, I did the same thing you did, Sophia. I'm attaching the pictures because I can see the shift in the product. And I'm like, you had a hard break and your product was completely shifted and went flying. And I get what the carrier is saying. They're going to blame the shipper, right? But the burden is actually on the carrier for that hard break. And let's see what they come back and say. Let's not, yeah, Brian says, of course we fight like hell. He's a bulldog. He would fight like hell too. He's just letting you know that very interesting argument, which is very true, which is sometimes the carrier has no choice. They have to hard break. But guess what, Brian? Still liable for the goods. That's what I would say if I was Sophia. You can say that you hard braked because you had to avoid an accident. The goods got damaged. You're still responsible for that. So we don't talk about negligence, right? It's Carmack. So if the goods are damaged, carrier is responsible. And there are some exceptions. One of them being that the shipper, like let's say they said that the shipper didn't properly load the goods or brace the goods. They have to prove that, Sophia. So like it can't just be a statement. Like you got to show actual pictures and you got to prove it and come back and keep pushing on that. And you might get a stalemate situation in there. But of course that will lead you to, hey, be proactive when you see cargo shift claims coming. You need more pictures. You need something. Maybe you can hire an adjuster to give an independent assessment as well, by the way. But those are really tough. I just wanted to make sure that if anybody else had some good ones, because she actually asked the most common stalemate that happens with cargo claims. Let's see. John says, for creating a 3PL company, do you have any materials that allow a broker to develop a formal claims process? I do. I bet you Mike definitely does. I think he said in his emails, and his platform has all this standard stuff too. And I just want to say liability doesn't mean fault. There's Dina. Dina knows cargo claims very well. She's very cold right now. She's freezing her butt off, but she knows. Shares as the carriers. So Justin pops in and says, carrier would have to produce a very serious definitive evidence of no hard break and shipment is under their care, responsible, and control. That's always been my argument. Always been my argument. So if you guys have more questions, I'll pop you here, CassandraGaines@carriershow.com, because we are over on time. You guys are amazing. And it sounds like maybe we have Brian join us, do a cargo claim session, and Brian tells us all his pushbacks. He's not going to help those damn insurance adjusters. and he's going to do all the pushbacks and help us kind of navigate these fields of claims because this is also his expertise. You guys are amazing. Thank you for joining. Please remember that Scottsdale is always here for you when you get cold. So many direct flights. You guys come visit. It's beautiful here. And that's it. Let us know if you have any questions. Thank you, Michael. We love freightclaims.com. We're so excited about having you guys as a partnership. You guys are going to go to the moon and back, and we hope to help you do so.